Prisoner number 466 of 1964, Nelson Mandela.
I think one of the most important things about the program is that while it centers around Nelson Mandela, it doesn't go out to make people exposed to it clones of Nelson Mandela. Rather, we learn from the life of Nelson to become ourselves. So the idea is not to become him, but to learn from the lessons of his own life, how we might tap into our own leadership capacity. And the value of him as an example is that he has had such a tremendous impact on the world. But he himself, more than most of us, is very averse to the idea of being worshipped. And that is why he goes out of his way to indicate that despite all the things that he has been able to achieve, he remains an ordinary person. So it's the capacity of engaging him that brings out the ordinariness in us that is very important, because the ordinariness is in fact the source of our greatness, and the two always go together. And the value of the program is to enable us to grapple with these contradictions that are at the very heart of human existence.
At that time, the media, that is in the 60s, early 60s, the media was prohibited from writing anything about prisoners or prisons. So this photograph was taken without our knowledge. It just happened that, and we didn't even know that they were here. We were just told from now onwards you're going to do light prison labor. So they took away our hammers, gave us old prison clothing to mend, and we subsequently learned that hardly has the photographers left the island, back came the hammers. Letters, every 6 months, one letter, and that had to be 500 words, and one visit of half an hour every 6 months. And that letters have to be 500 words. You have a nasty warder, he'll count 500 and cut out the rest. So they were really, all this was meant to break our spirits. But they failed, of course. One of the things Madiba had said, and our leadership, we are now in prisoners. We are no longer leaders. We don't make policy. We don't give instructions. We are ordinary prisoners.
It's a letter that Madiba wrote to Winnie in Kroonstad prison, dated 1st of February 1975. And I'll read extracts from it. And he says, "The cell is an ideal place to learn to know yourself, to search realistically and regularly the process of your own mind and feelings. In judging our progress as individuals, we tend to concentrate on external factors such as one's social position, influence and popularity, wealth and standard of education. But internal factors may be even more crucial in assessing one's development as a human being. Honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, pure generosity, absence of vanity, readiness to serve others, qualities which are within easy reach of every soul. Never forget that a saint is a sinner who keeps on trying."
We are reminded that Madiba serves only as a catalyst to perhaps stimulate further thought and greater engagement. The program fosters a humanizing consciousness, critical thinking, purpose detection, and engaged citizenship, so that we may continue to expand our consciousness and engage in our world as citizens, and most importantly, as human beings. What is most significant is that we choose to discover, nurture, and actively develop our champion within. Make every day a Mandela Day. Nelson Mandela, the champion within. 1 million youth and 100,000 leaders by 2020. A program of social engagement for a nation of champions. And as Madiba says, let's recommit to work towards our common goal, a nation where all of us are winners. All of us have shelter, food, and education. Let's build a nation of champions.